From mastering the art of saving to harnessing the power of investments, we cover it all. But it's not just about the money. It's about cultivating a millionaire mindset that propels you towards success in every aspect of your life. Join our community of ambitious go-getters and discover the secrets to becoming a millionaire by morning. Subscribe now to Millionaire by Morning on your favorite podcast platform. And let's make your financial dreams a reality. Millionaire by Morning, where money mindset, motivation, and mastery meet. Subscribe today and unlock your path to prosperity.
Hello to all you listeners out there. Welcome back to the Millionaire by Morning podcast. We have with us a special guest today, and starting in the year 2026, I'm so glad that we have guests like this that can set us off with what we need to be successful for the remainder of the year. So today we have an author, speaker, sales and AI expert who is the founder of Sales Scalers, a company specializing in helping business owners grow their sales and build powerful teams. Over the last 30 plus years, he has closed over 6 billion in new sales. And with a unique blend of personal development and his proprietary sales and marketing method, he now supports entrepreneurs and small businesses, helping them consistently build their pipeline, scale their sales teams, and grow, which means that means you, who's ever on this call. So I want to welcome Scott, the founder of Sales Scalers, to the podcast today. Hello, Scott.
Hey, Rashad, Happy New Year to you and all your followers. It's great to be here, and thank you for that great introduction. I appreciate it.
Awesome, man. Thank you for being here so early in the year. Like I said, we have to roll this thing out, man. We have whatever 365 minus 7 is. That's how many more days we have left.
There we go.
So, Scott, man, let's get into it. I would like for you are successful. You can give advice. You can give knowledge at this moment in time. I would like for you to take us back to the beginning of your journey and how it all started for you. And a lot of times people they kind of go back to their childhood and they know that that's where it all started because it was the way that they was reared or it was something that they wanted and it set their mindset at a certain point. What point was it for you, do you think, that you knew that this was the direction that you would be going in?
That's a great question. I knew I was I never knew I was going to be in sales, to be honest. I just never thought about it. I grew up in Connecticut, 40 minutes from New York City and Wall Street, and I just said I wanted to be a stockbroker. I wanted to be in Wall Street, and that was it. And never thought about the sales side of it because my dad was a pharmaceutical consultant. My mom was stay at home until we got old enough. I was the youngest of three, and she then, got a job as an executive secretary back in the day. And so my first job, I was the youngest of three boys, which means I learned to compete. Otherwise, one, I wasn't allowed to play, or two, I couldn't cry if I got beat up on the basketball court or the football field, while we're playing because I want to play with the big guys. And just learn to be tough and learn to suck it up. And then that kind of led me to just being a leader without knowing that too. Sales and leadership weren't things I thought about. It kind of happened naturally. Maybe it's part of my DNA. Um, yeah, it just went there through college, and next thing you know, I'm working for an investment company, a hedge fund in Greenwich, Connecticut, and surrounded by, saying alpha males would be an understatement. And my job was sales. And I remember when I got the job, everyone's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I don't know. I got a job in a hedge fund. That's what I want. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just glad I'm here."
You just said something. You just said something that pertains to sales as I know it. You said alpha males would be an understatement. That's saying a lot. And for anyone listening, when you get involved into sales, you will understand exactly what he's saying. Like, this is sales is rough. It is a rough game. Is tough, and you have to have tough skin, and it is definitely alpha male to be successful in it. It is a rough game. It's a gladiator sport. Would you agree, Scott?
It is in a lot of ways. Like you said, you got to have tough skin because, the first time a mentor told me, "Hey, every no's to get you that closer to the first yes." And it's like, I won't use that language in my head. I was like, "Screw you. What do you mean? I don't like these no's." But you had to get used to it. And the ones who can get used to rejection become very successful because sales is a numbers game. And as I tell all my clients, and even as myself, as sales throughout the 4 decades, the more volume of no's I can get, the more volume of yeses I can get. And like you said, it's a gladiator sport. It's a tough game. You're gonna get bloodied. We're not in the military. I don't mean that bloodied, but you're gonna get beat up. Your ego's gonna get hurt. Your emotions are gonna get hurt, and you've got to learn to control them and regulate them and use those no's. For me, every no is like, all right, I'm closer to a yes. Let's go. Let me pick up. Back in my day, it was smile and dial. I don't do that as much anymore. But yeah, you got to be tough and you got to be resilient. And I
Word.
think one
That
thing
is
I'll add
word.
to that is alpha males doesn't, and alpha females, by the way. I've been around some very successful alpha females who have been amazing mentors to me. It doesn't mean you're loud and you're, rah, rah, rah. It just means you're strong, you believe in yourself, you have conviction, you have resilience, and you have discipline in what you do every day. To me, that's what an alpha in sales is.
That's amazing, man. I like that. I like that description. Um, because at the end of the day, a salesperson is the person who you do in a sense have to be not necessarily salesy, but you have to be convincing. And a lot of the times, not only do you have to be convincing, you have to be a consultant. So you're consulting who you're selling to. A lot of the times, they don't know what it is that they're buying. They don't know, you know, the next move. So there's a salesperson who has to move them along, right? So what is your ethos when it comes to people who look at salespeople as being, a lot of the times it's a negative connotation with salespeople.
Yeah. You know what people in the world have the most negative connotation of salespeople?
Who's that?
Salespeople. When I do workshops and webinars over the years, and I get a bunch of salespeople in the room, and Rashad, you know this, looking at your success and everything you do, mindset, right? Mindset is the biggest part. If when I coach someone in sales, if I get them in the right mindset, sales is easy. Sales is it's not This is not rocket science. It's like you said, you got to connect with people, you got to take them on a journey. And I put up on the board, the big whiteboard, and I grab, my marker. I go, what are the first word or phrases that come to your mind about sales? And we go through them all. And 2/3 of them are negative connotations.
Wow.
And these are salespeople, right? And so my ethos is first starts with uh, if I'm talking to someone, whether it's B2B or B2C sale, whatever it is, there's both. They're talking to me for a reason because they think they have interest in my product or service. So it's my job to either be the old used car salesperson, and my godson's literally a used car salesperson. He's not the old stereotype. He's an amazing human being and how he helps people get them in the right car, right? But that's the old adage. So you've got to get them you got to get, as a salesperson, understand they took my call, or maybe nowadays they might have called me from our website and all that. They need help. My job is to help them. And if I'm helping someone, then that makes me a good person. And that's the biggest mindset shift I do with salespeople. Even some of the top salespeople in the world that I've coached is the mindset. So the ethos starts with, do you believe you're a good person when you're a salesperson? And when they say 100% yes to that, or we get them there, again, the rest is easy. I can teach you the technique of a cold call and an email and blah, blah, blah.
That's all you have to believe, is that you're first and foremost helping someone.
Yep. That's it.
That's your
simple,
job,
right?
Yeah, it's that simple. And Scott, I'll give an example of my own personal experience. I went at some point to go have an oil change on my car. And during that time, I kind of wanted to look at another car. But no, I think this was the first time that I kind of noticed, like, there's not a salesperson in the room. And what I mean by that is there's no one here that can help me. Because if you've ever, I come from an older generation to where if you ever went into a car dealership, no matter if you just drove on a parking lot, no matter if you were getting your car serviced, there was going to be someone that approached you and asked you, hey, do you want to check out this brand new car over here?
Yeah.
This was the first time that I took my car in for service and no one approached me like this. So, Scott, I'm looking for a salesperson. I'm looking basically for someone that can help me. And there was no one there to do that job. And I think that was the first time that I looked at a salesperson is your customer service person. They're your consultant person. They're the person that can really get you to the end goal that you want to arrive at.
Yep.
And I noticed that at that time and space. So I seen that as a experience that, yeah, a salesperson is very important in all of our lives.
100%. 100%.
Yes, man. So I kind of jumped around in my interviewing process, but so I normally start with the beginning. So Scott, could you tell us what was your first sales job that you remember?
16, not to, well, actually, no, 12 years old. My dad, I grew up in suburbs outside of New York, and my dad said, there's a lawnmower, there's a full can of gas. I'll always keep it full. Go knock on the neighbors' doors and make some money this summer. So at 12 years old, my best friend Craig across the street and I said, why don't we do this together? Because we knew how to mow the lawn. I had lived on an acre of land. We had a push mower back in the day. I think you and I are the same generation.
That's right.
And we just went knocking on the neighborhood doors, and we ended up that summer getting four houses that said yes to us. We made $30 a week, which we split $15. This is back in 1982, so that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
That was my first sales job, was convincing someone that we can mow their lawn. And two punk 12-year-old kids knew how to mow their lawn better than they did.
Yeah, man. And the thing about it is you learned a lot because you had your gas along with you. So you've already gassed up. And as you're going along, you have, your equipment, and you made the ask.
Yep.
and that was it. If they said yes, okay, let's get to it.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even remember what we said. I think we just said, if I can remember back, hey, can we mow your lawn this summer? And it was like, no, or how much? And then my friend and I were really good. We pretended we're like, well, we're gonna walk around and see what you really need. So we actually were pretty good at that, looking
Yeah,
at it.
right,
And we
man.
walked around, and him and I would sit there and like, what do you think we can get them for?
Yeah, that's it. That's so amazing, man. I think those skills built a lot of people and a lot of character. Do
Yeah,
you remember the chocolates the school gave you to
for a
sell?
dollar for fundraising.
Right. So those were selling skills as well,
Yep.
fundraising.
Is the things are even my kids are 24 and 32. They didn't have to do so much. We got a fundraiser, and what? And as a parent, I go, "All right, I'll bring it to my office, and I'll sell the box for you."
Right.
Which was, looking back, a disservice to them, because to your question, I'm laughing. I'm thinking about, I started selling when I was 12 years old.
Exactly, exactly. And now that you're thinking about it, say it out loud, you're
Yeah.
like, that I was doing that then. I started really early. So yeah, man, these skills come about.
Yeah.
You, Scott, you took it to a whole different level. You advanced and now you in the $1 billion of sales. So let's get into that.
Yeah.
Like,
So,
where did that let's hear that story. Where did that come from and originate originally?
my first job in the hedge fund in Greenwich, my first, back then I didn't know what mentors and coaches were. I wish I did, because I can look back and I know I had amazing ones who thankfully took me in when I was 22, 23 years old. And my first one, who I worked for, one of my bosses, Tony, he actually, they had an article in one of the Wall Street trades, and he was on the front page, and it's called Mr. Relationship. And he was all about relationships. And I learned from him something that I still am today: build relationships. If you can build, relationships, stating the obvious, relationships build trust. And so I always was about relationships, not about the dollars that I was going to get, because I believed, and I went further into this later in my career too, is if I can just build a relationship with someone, if I've got what they need, they'll buy it from me because I've earned their trust, because I've built that relationship. And that really was it has always been, to this day, the foundation of my success.
And that's it. It's as simple as that.
Yep. Think about your success as well. It's, especially nowadays, we get inundated with so much crap of too many emails. If it's on LinkedIn and our Gmail, and, my phone, I have over 20 calls that I know get blocked a day because I block them automatically, right? Trying to sell you stuff. It's someone, why do I respond to a LinkedIn message? It's because I look at them. Someone put something that felt personal to me, like either they took a minute to read my profile, which, use AI and pretend, at least, right?
Right.
You know, and it's something personal. It's like, oh, wait, let me go read this message. Now, doesn't mean I always respond, but I read it. And the ones that, oh, I maybe do need this service, or this product's interesting, I want a demo, then I'll respond and talk to them. So when I work with all my clients, no matter what they're selling, it's about relationships. It's one of my favorite influencers and authors is Simon Sinek, in the Golden Circle, why the why. And he says it. 99% of people start with what? 1% of companies, 1% of companies start with why. Well, who are the companies that start with why? Meaning really connecting, and do we have the same passions, the same belief systems? Well, Apple, Harley Davidson are two that he names in some of his podcasts. And think about it. He goes, no one puts my, as I quote him right from one of his things a long time ago, goes, no one's putting Home Depot or Microsoft on their body, but people have Harley Davidson tattoos.
Yeah.
There's a
Right.
reason, because they connect here.
Right.
And so when you can come from that point of view, listen, in sales, who's my avatar, ICP, whatever buzzword you want to use. if you know them and you know the ones that need your product and service, you've got to figure out, how do I connect with them emotionally? Because in this day and age of technology, I love AI. As you know, I'm a big AI. I use AI to help warm leads up and all that stuff. But you have to do it with a human element. And when
Right.
you start with humanity and then bring in, oh, by the way, here's the product I have,
Yeah.
you're going to win a lot more than you're going to lose.
Wow. Okay. So that is Sales Skeller's Scott's framework, humanity.
Yep. AI increases our humanity. And people look at me when I say that and like, huh? AI will increase our humanity when used the right way. So what does that mean? AI does the milling, meaning the easy stuff. It can automatically respond to certain emails for us. It can customer support. It can do so many things that we don't need a human to do. Um, it can do things even in our personal lives that allow us to just focus on being human, to build connections. That's what how did you start this before you and I turned the camera on? You said hello, you built a connection with me. This is the first time we're meeting live, right? We've obviously gone back and forth to get to this moment of, hey, I'd love to have you on the podcast. But then you started by building a connection with me before we turned the camera on.
Right.
That's what it's about. AI can do so many things for us so that we have time to just even take one moment, 1 minute to build that human connection, to
To do
free our
it.
minds from the tasks of life so we can focus on the emotions and build relationships.
That's good, Scott. I've never had anyone to put it in that perspective. I know that people are worried and concerned about AI, how it will replace, you know, how it will replace jobs and how it will replace us. But what you're saying is just the human element of us being ourselves, bring AI along and it will assist with the mundane jobs and duties into which the humans can make better, more meaningful connections.
100%, right? Again, it frees our mind from the mundane so that we can now become more creative. God made us to be creators. That's who we're supposed to be. We're supposed to create. But life wants to get us into the rat race and the mundane, and you got to do this, and you got to do that, da, 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 da. Well, now technology can do so much of that so that things get done still, and we have time, more time. AI is about efficiency when used right. So technology as a whole, right? I mean, even over the decades, which means I can get done working faster. If I get done working faster because I'm more efficient, more productive, and do it even better than I used to, that means I can go hang out and spend more time with my family,
Oh, wow.
right?
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
partner, my kids, my community. I have more time for community service. I mean, I can go down a whole list there. So embrace it. It scares people. Absolutely. It's especially in our generation, it scares people. But when you realize it is going to take jobs. I say that all the time. Absolutely, there's jobs it's going to take. But it doesn't have to be your job it takes, or are you learning how to use AI so you can have an even better job? Right? I'm 55 years old. I said this on a podcast the other day. Who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks? 3 years ago, I've sold technology for many years, but I can't, I'm not a programmer. I've
Right.
created I've created AI apps on my own through using AI. I don't have to be a programmer. That things that make my life easier in my day to day, right? You got to take time and learn. And I mean, 3 years ago, Scott, would you be an AI expert? AI, or I knew what AI stood for, but no. And now, because again, I embraced change. As I've said recently, the world's moving so fast, it's faster than the human body and the human mind was made to handle.
Yeah.
So how do you slow it down? You slow it down by educating yourself. You don't have to be Harvard educated. You don't have to have a college degree. You don't have to have any degree. Just educate yourself. Start using it. There's a lot of free courses out there to learn how to use just ChatGPT if you want to use that, how to use AI just to make a better. I said this the other day to someone. If I got an anniversary coming up with my partner, I can go into AI and say, okay, I live in Austin. Hey, I want to, in the downtown Austin area, I want to make a romantic dinner. I tell it what I'm looking for, the output I want. My partner and I, we both try to stay away from gluten and certain things. And I go, here, 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 here. Give me 10 restaurants that are going to make me look good to my partner. And that's exactly how I say it. I tell it the output. I tell it the vibe I want, and it gives me the 10 restaurants. And then I go take a quick look at only 10 instead of, obviously I live in a city instead of hundreds. And I go, which one looks the best and where can I get a reservation?
Right.
AI saved me an hour. I can do that in 10 minutes and book the reservation versus an hour of my own research.
Right. Right. I say this a lot. I have a lot. I agree. I agree with you, man. I have a lot of guests on here. I would say that you're my first guest that is sales and AI, combined, right? And making an effort towards that. But I have a lot of guests on here, and I tell them that from my perspective, as I see the world, I think we are coming in full circle and we are back at a point to where it is a barter and trade type of world.
I agree with you on that. I haven't heard anyone else say that. You are 100% right.
I I swear by that. Like whatever your expertise is, it don't matter who you are, what your now we have TikTok, we have people that can dance, we have people, comedians, we have whatever you can give to the world, whatever that you have able to give to the world, you can get paid for it.
Yep.
You know, and if you're a chef, you love to cook. If you grow in a garden and you love to grow food, whatever it is that you have an outlet to do it without a middleman, and you can do it. And I look at that as just the beginning. How all of civilization began. It's like it's a full circle, and you can kind of do that with technology now.
I love how you said that. I haven't heard someone say it that way. You're 100% right. And you know what all that's coming back to giving all of us who are taught to have a 9 to 5 job? Freedom.
Exactly.
Because you can do it from anywhere in the world. Where do you want to live? You don't have to
Where do
live.
you want to go? Like you no longer have to be. You're in Austin, Texas. I'm in Fort Worth, Texas. We can go live in the Dominican Republic right now. We can go and still have the same talent and make the same money, but do it from. And I love that for like Generation Z. They understand that. Generation X, Generation Z, they understand like, hey man, this is not the boomers and the Generation X. We don't have to be on a job for 30 years.
Yeah.
Like we can really move around and just do what it is that we want to do with our own time and our creativity.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
man. That's I think it's amazing time that we live in. And like you said, AI is just going to make it even more advanced, but even give the people that instead of the middleman, like AI will be the person that you can reach out to make it happen. Your
Yeah.
workforce.
I don't know. I think it was Sam Altman. I don't think it was Elon. I think it was Sam Altman who said, and other people have said it too, AI will be the biggest creator of millionaires in history.
Oh, I believe it.
And because everything you just said, there's so many ways you can make money. One of the top paying jobs now is no longer doctor, lawyer, engineer. It's influencer. Everything you just
Content creators influence.
it's creator influencer, which you know,
But
it's
Scott,
great.
you want to know why? You want to know why that that the top job that will ever exist is sales.
Yes.
The only reason the influencer is because they're selling something. They're selling the platform, they're selling UGC, user generated content,
Yep.
they're selling something for somebody else. So I don't there's nothing more desirable. There's nothing there's nothing that can outlast sales.
No.
Because at the end of the day, no matter what you're trading, you you're a doctor, you're selling medicine, you're an entertainer, you're selling. So I just want to sit with that for a minute.
Everyone's in sales. I used to do trainings when I was a wholesaler in the mutual fund world, and I'd go into bank branches to help them get customers to go meet with the financial person. And I asked the trick question. I go, "Who here is in sales?" And only the branch manager and the financial advisor would raise their hand. I go, "You're all in sales.
Right.
If you're talking to a customer, you're selling." And you've got, again, mindset. You'll hear me say that all the time. You've got to shift your mindset. And I go, don't be afraid of it. Here's 3 things you can say to help just refer them over to the manager, to the financial person, because you see they have a big enough balance in their bank account, right? And it was great to see when I'd go back a month later, some of the tellers, which technically is that, didn't think of themselves, and they'd be like, they'd run up to me, the ones who were embracing what I taught them, and like, "Oh my God, this is so much fun. I love it." And guess who started doing better and getting promoted in their careers? The ones who embraced that sales was part of their job.
Right. Right. And it's so and just and anybody that's listening, I'm sorry because we really need to get into Scott's business, but the mindset of sales, I don't think people realize that. Like once you realize that, whether you're trying to get into a relationship, you're trying to get a job, whatever it is that you're attempting to do, the person that's across the table or the room from you, 9 times out of 10, you're trying to sell yourself to them. Even
Yeah.
if it's not, you're trying to sell them something that they can buy. A lot of the times, even when you're getting a job, doing an interview, you're trying to sell yourself to the company.
Yeah.
So embrace it.
For all those listeners who are married, you had to sell yourself to your husband or your wife.
That's right. That is correct. That is correct. So Scott, let's get into sales scalers. What exactly is the business about?
So Sales Scalers just launched a new program I'm really excited about, which is tied into my new book, which I just finished this week and it'll get published in 2 months, called Wait, Don't Hire the VP of Sales Yet. So I'm focused with founder-led companies, typically between 1 and 30 million in revenue. They've got a roller coaster of sales coming in up and down because the founder is the CEO and the top sales rep. So we've created a program that, like you said earlier, it's my philosophy behind the future of go-to-market and how do we bring in AI automation, co-pilots from various places to do different pieces, clean up and truly get laser focused on who our ICPs are and how to talk to them, and data. I'm a data geek at heart. And how do we track data via CRM? We bring those 4 components in and set it up to where the founder slash CEO can go be the visionary and not have to run the sales anymore. And we fractionally do that for them. So that's our program right now. And we also we do some corporate trainings as well. Corporations will come to us and will come in for a day or two and do a lot of the stuff you and I are talking about today, mindset and sales and all that good stuff.
Awesome, man. That sounds so awesome. Is that Austin? Are you traveling United States? Are you located, everywhere?
I talk to people all over the world. So, trainings, obviously, we typically have to get on the road, and we're more than open to do that. Our clients who are doing the not keeping them from hiring the VP of sales yet. I said yet because eventually we will. Most of that's just like this. It's via Zoom. So it's
Okay.
everywhere.
Okay. Scott, well, sales scalers, do you have coming up in March every year? Do you have a presence at South by Southwest in Austin?
I don't as a company, but I absolutely go around because I also advise startups as well outside of sales scalers. And one, I want to see all the new technology and all the new stuff that's coming out. So yeah, I bounce around there all the time. I've never done a booth or a sponsorship myself. I just go to all this way I can go to all the events and just meet. I mean, it's so many amazing people come in. I love it.
Right, right. And for anybody listening, because a lot of times this is all over the world, this podcast, global or whatever the case may be. This is a Texas question. So, I mean, we have visitors that come down and go to South by Southwest, but it's a big, huge Texas event. So that's my reason. Scott is located in Austin, and yeah, it's a very huge event that covers technology, entertainment, music. It's grown to be just out of this world, but yeah, it's a really nice event.
It becomes the VC private equity center of the world for about a week.
Yep.
They
Yep.
all come here, which is great. It's great to meet people, and yeah, come. You will have. If you're a business person, come. If you just love, I want to see the newest, latest, and greatest. Come here. It's to your point. It's fun. It's amazing.
That's right. That's right, man. So Scott, what do you see? What do you see for your future goals, whether it be short term or whether it be big, hairy, audacious goals in the future?
I love that question. I love that big, hairy, audacious goal. So I've got a few things, as you asked earlier before we got on the camera, that I've got my hands in, as I like to say. Sales scalers is my focus, but here, Move Well AI, I've been working on for 3 years, and it's a health and wellness company. It's going to start out as a consumer fitness app to train you, kind of a personal trainer in your pocket. But we've got a bigger goal, and that goal is very simply, I want to democratize access to expert advice for health and wellness to the world, to those that can't afford it, to those that are less served communities that realize you can take control of your health. You don't need a doctor. Yes, I still go to a doctor, so no one get mad at me for that. But there's so much we can do that when we go to the doctor, it's our annual checkup, not a, I'm not feeling good. And there's a difference. And when you can take back control of your health and understand you can do it, and it doesn't cost a lot of money, it's just about our habits and understanding different things we can do. We want to build that community along with an app that helps them, whether it's understand how much they walk, they want to lift weights, all that other stuff as well.
That's awesome, man. That's Sorry, my mic was muted. This will be an app. Am I
Yeah,
correct?
it's an app. So it's gonna. It was in the App Store last year. We've taken it back out because I thought my baby was ugly, as every founder, and we're in stealth mode right now, recreating it. Our goal is to launch probably beginning of Q2 is the target. I
Okay.
haven't said a lot of this out loud, so it's great to say it for those who are listening. So yeah,
Yeah.
beginning of Q2, um, you should see the consumer fitness app out there. That again, it's kind of like we would call it the tagline, a personal trainer in your pocket. Like we've talked about it. We all need a coach. We all need a mentor. I work out 5-6 days a week. I've been doing it most of my life. But when I have a trainer with me, I'm going to get a better workout, and I'm going to be more efficient in what I do, and I'm going to have less risk of injury. And the app is there to do that for you. Not everyone wants to spend or can afford $100, $150 an hour trainer, or maybe they can't afford, if they were like me, As a single dad raising two kids back in the day when they were younger, I couldn't always get to the gym, but I still wanted to work out. And I had a friend who was a trainer, and he says, "Here's your home routine. Put the kids to bed. You've got stairs in your house. You got a couple, but So we want to show people there are no excuses.
Right.
And we're going to give you that coaching so you feel confident, whether it's someone like me or you who are in shape and look like we work out, or someone who, as I like to say, is, maybe significantly overweight. We're not here to judge you. We're here to help you. And
Right.
whatever you want to do, we want to be a part of that journey. We want to give you that confidence because you feel you have an expert who's there by your side.
That's awesome, Scott. Not only are you helping, not only are you putting out something that is needed and good for society, you are getting into the technical realm,
Yeah.
which is what Austin is about. Second Silicon Valley. So this is where we're going now. AI, technology. So you've really you found your way into that sector, which I commend you for.
Thank you. Thank
And
you very much.
you've made it to where it's a positive for society for society. Excuse me.
As I like to say, I want to, my legacy is to make the world a healthier place, and that's my big, hairy, audacious goal, as you said.
Yeah. Okay. All
You
right.
know, we just I could go down the rabbit hole there. 6 in 10 adults in the U.S. have a lifestyle related illness,
Right.
which means we talk about the cost of healthcare. Hospitals are crowded. You can't get doctor's appointments. If we can just help them understand the things they can do and give them the advice they need instead of a pill. Most people don't need a pill, and I'll take a pill if I need one in the end, but that's my last resort, not my first
Right.
resort. And I want to shift how society sees that and thinks. And so,
Exactly.
anyways, we're here to talk about sales.
And so no, man, this is because that's part of what you're selling, so we're getting into to Scott and what he has to offer. And as far as as far as sales go, you can't sell if you're not alive.
Exactly.
It's just as simple as that. But what I would like to ask you
Mhm.
is, you have, as far as sales scalers go, is there a formula? Is there a framework that you share with others that if they was to follow that and plug it into whatever that it is that they're trying to sell, trying to accomplish, that you would not guarantee, because not much is guaranteed, but is there a framework that you would suggest would work if anybody was to plug that in?
Yeah, and that's what this book's going to be about, is that framework. And like I said earlier, there's 4 pillars to it. Number one is let's define your ICP and understand where they live and how to talk to them. Number two is where can we bring in AI automation to free the mind so we can be more human. Number three is co-pilots, and that's virtual assistants and SDRs and offshoring some things that do really well. So the team here in the proverbial office, most people don't have an office anymore, can just focus on the stuff that closes the deals and gets things done. And the fourth, which is maybe the most important, is the CRM, meaning data, and understanding how to look at data, but look at data the right way. I talk to these companies that, and these VCs that say we've got a way where our companies will sell. And we look, here's our KPIs. Well, KPIs stand for key performance indicators. Performance indicators tells me what happened in the past. I can't, I don't care what happened in the past. I mean, yeah, I got to know what cash flow is coming in, but I want predictable indicators. What data, what marks can I look at that show me movement and momentum that says this deal is forecastable, is has has strength behind it, has fuel in the tank to get across the finish line of closed one. And when you shift from performance indicators to predictable indicators, i.e., movement and motion, And you just need 4 or 5 different things, depending on the business. Sometimes it's only two. Every business is a little different, but up to 5 of them that we will look at. And that's the framework we bring in. For the individual person, they think, well, Scott, that's business. But these aren't the IBMs and the Microsofts and the Ford Motor Companies of the world. These are smaller companies that we deal with, as we said earlier. Now, the big companies should do this too, but they don't. We talk about that in the book. For the individual, you can still do a lot of this yourself, but also I'd say read my book I published 3 years ago called Kaching. That's about mindset of sales. Everyone's like, I'm not here to teach you how to make a cold call. Pick up the phone. It's easy to do. But again, as we talked earlier, mindset. Can we get into the right mindset? Can we make a plan? Can we have the discipline to stick to it? And that book talks about more of the mindset. And this new book's going to be that formula of here's the structure of your go-to-market.
Okay. All right. Okay. Man, that's awesome. That's amazing. When is this book coming out? When can we expect it?
Depending how quickly AI can help me format it, but my goal is what I'm saying to everyone is by the end of March. That was my original goal for this book. I finished writing it a month earlier than I thought. I'm still going to say the end of March and under promise and over deliver and probably get it out there faster. But obviously, you follow us on Sales Scalers, you follow us on LinkedIn and all the other social media places. You'll know when it's coming, and it'll be
Okay.
in Amazon to get it as an ebook or Kindle or obviously paperback.
Well, Scott, I'll tell you most definitely that when the book drops, I would like to have you back on the show so we can discuss it.
I would love to. That'd be amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, man. So where can anyone listening, where can they follow you or find you at?
Easiest way is go to salesscalers.com. That's 2 S's in the middle, salesscalers.com. And from there, obviously, we put up a lot of our content, but you can also find all our social media pages at the bottom you can click to. But we're on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. We do a lot of stuff there. Most of our stuff is on LinkedIn since we're more B2B than B2C in what we do. But you'll see our posts. It's about mindset. Everyone has asked me over the years, how have you been successful with your teams? And if you talk to anyone who's been on my teams over the last couple of decades, I never did sales training. It's easy to make a cold call and write an email. I did life training. And as we talked about, mindset, relationship, connecting with people. And so we do a lot of that. And if you can get that, sales is easy.
That man, it's so crazy that you say that because I've been doing this podcast, and I want everybody that's listening to know this is when you say relationship building and trust. Since I've been doing this podcast, it's been so easy for me to connect with people. And me not even needing or wanting to sell them anything because of a conversation, because they see that I am authentic being on the podcast, because they probably looked me up beforehand, just because they're coming on the podcast. So a lot of that is already relationship building. We have a conversation. They see that I am authentic, and when we get off of the call, I may not have anything to sell. However, they want to know what can they buy.
Yep.
It's as simple as that. Like you said, Scott, if you can build a relationship, if you can get someone to trust you, they will consider you to be as an expert in your field, as long as you're educated and can get them the correct, product or service, whatever it may be. They will listen to you. They will buy from you. They will purchase from you. So, Scott, thanks a lot, man. You made that point clear today on this show. And I want to thank you a lot for that, because a lot of the time, we have had an interview earlier, and the guy his first job was from car sales, and we discussed that. And at the end of the day, a lot of when you approach someone as a salesperson, sometimes there's a bad connotation with used car salesman. He's a salesman. He's just going to try to sell me something. But when you approach as a trusted source, a friend, someone who's built a relationship, even with TikTok, Instagram, they trust the people who continuously have content. You have to be consistent. That's
Yep.
the people that they trust to buy from. And so, thank you, Scott, for bringing that point home today.
My pleasure. I appreciate the opportunity. This has been great today.
This has been, man, and I want to get you back on. I
Okay.
definitely want to get you back on as soon as your book drop, or if you want to come on to promote your book about to drop, let's get you back here, man,
I
and we
appreciate
have
that.
another discussion.
I'm going to take you up on that. This has been a great way to kick off the year. I love what you're doing. Obviously, I was following you leading up to this, and you're putting out great stuff to help people. And it's an honor and a blessing to be able to be a part of it for tonight.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much. I want to tell everyone, we're just starting out 2026. We're going to start this right now with sales. We're going to start it with our mindset and get our momentum going. And I want to let you know to continue to make moves, make money, and make meaningful memories. And we'll talk to you next time.